Good day, friends. My name is Rian Angeles, and welcome to Paths of Hope. Today's reflection is on the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 to 32. And this is a portion of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount where we are presented with the reality of our fallenness as human beings, and also His call for us to holiness. In this Gospel, we hear Jesus dive deep into the challenges of lust, adultery, and in that context, in Jewish time, how divorce is being taken so lightly by the people. Since this Gospel today talks so much about the real challenges of our world today, lust, adultery, divorce, we may be asking them, what is our hope out of all these? In John 3:17 it says, "For God did not send His Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through Him." So let's begin our time of reflection on Matthew by recognizing that these sermons of Jesus are meant not to condemn us, but to save us and to bring us fullness and goodness of life, to make us more and more holy like Christ. With this as our hope, we highlight 3 points in this passage that Jesus wants to emphasize to us so that we may see parts of ourselves that need more holiness. First, that we sin with our thoughts. We can read this in verses 27 to 28 where He talks about lust. Jesus shows us that holiness and being like Him involves much more than us just following a list of rules of what not to do. He makes an emphasis that it's not just the action that is sinful, but the thought as well. And Jesus says to us, fight for holiness in your mind. Second, that we sin with our actions. As we can read in verses 29 to 30 when He talks about adultery, Jesus speaks hyperbolically, with much exaggeration. He knows that for us, what He asks of us are all difficult. And so He appeals to us with the same intensity about how we should go through extreme measures to rid ourselves of sin and to pursue holiness. Jesus says to us, fight for holiness in your actions. Third, that we sin in our relationships. At the heart of adultery and divorce are our brokenness and our imperfection as human beings. It shows up as a broken covenant, manifests as a broken relationship, or a person that has been hurt or destroyed by sin. Probably sin brought about by one or more parties. Jesus says to us, let us fight for holiness in our relationships. You may be asking, what do these mean for those who have already experienced falling or failing in the areas of lust, adultery, or a broken covenant? See, even while Jesus was doing the Sermon on the Mount, He knew He was speaking to people who have already fallen in these areas. He's speaking to sinful men. And He says, I came for you. He comes for them, and He exhorts them to strive for holiness. Jesus has hope for us because He knows it is possible for us to live a holy life by God's Spirit and God's grace. Friends, we find our hope today knowing that what sin can destroy, God can redeem. May you have a hope-filled and blessed day.